Interestingly enough, I didn't study computer science or software engineering. I studied chemical engineering in university.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Hey guys, hope you watched our last video. My name is Luba.
And I'm Alexa.
I'm a software engineer.
And I'm a product designer.
Today we're going to talk about our journeys to the respective careers. Unless, Alexa, you had something else in mind.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, sounds good. I want to start with you. How did you get into design? Have you always wanted to be a designer?
Did I always want to be a designer? No, I don't think so. I think I knew I wanted to be a designer once I moved here to San Francisco about 5.5 years ago. But no, not until it was actually there was a teacher that I had at school at I had transferred schools to an art school out here in San Francisco, and it was in that class and with that teacher and in that environment that I really figured out what I wanted to do, which was to be a product designer. And I think before then I wasn't able to even articulate that. But it wasn't until that second semester that I was like, oh, right, I think this is what I want to do.
So second semester after transferring?
Yeah, so it was, I was like...
How old were you?
I would have been 21.
Okay.
Yeah. I still sort of think about this, like, what if I would have figured it out before I was 21? Like, where would I be now? I feel like my skills could have been even more... Refined, yeah, exactly. And it's all relative though, right?
Yeah, I think everything's really relative, so don't think that if you're 10 years old and you haven't figured out what you want to do yet, everything's lost. It's totally not the case. I have a very similar story.
Yeah? Oh, well, tell me more about that.
Well, by similar, I mean that I figured out that I'm gonna start working in tech after I graduate at around, 21 years old as well. I, by no means, programmed when I was in high school or in junior school. I actually thought that programming was like really awful, and yeah. Interestingly enough, I didn't study computer science or software engineering. I studied chemical engineering in university.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, I didn't study either of those, and that's why I'm saying that if you started university and you think that a lot of people are much better at what you are studying than you are, do not be discouraged. There is lots of stories. Everything is absolutely relative. Granted, I already knew that I wasn't very interested in chemical engineering and that I'm not gonna pursue it after graduating. However, I was very lost as to what I should actually try because I had so many ideas about what I wanted to do. I thought, okay, maybe it'd be cool to try out finance or like management or logistics or like business of some sort, but I didn't know what to focus on. And then from what I said, by virtue of circumstance, I started dating a guy who was studying computer science, and he did all these like fun internships at Facebook and stuff, he always had super high energy, and he was hyping me up about it. And whenever he was so excited about it, I was like, I don't feel exactly the same about what I'm studying. I'm not particularly excited. And I mentioned to him that, maybe I would want to like try out maybe taking an online course on some kind of like web development. And then he totally pushed me to do it. And then when I started taking those online courses, so I did follow his advice and actually acted on it, I was like, okay, this is kind of fun, this is not too bad. And then I decided, okay, so why won't I try this out, as opposed to just like being stagnated and thinking, okay, what is it that I should try doing? I just went ahead and tried something. I happened to be in Germany for a year at that time on exchange, and my workload was much easier there for my like actual degree, so I focused the whole year on trying to learn software engineering.
That's amazing.
And then I met you, Alexa, because we interned at Yelp together. That was my first software engineering internship.
Yeah, that's a whole other video, like how Luba and I met. I think we should go back to Yelp and just like wander through.
Yeah, that'd be a super fun video to do. I agree.
I was really thinking about when you said that you got into software engineering because of the guy you were seeing. That really
I'm not seeing the guy anymore, by the way, but he literally changed my life.
Yeah, he really influenced you. And I love that because you really are who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
Right? And like I think it's about 5 people. The 5 people you hang out with the most or you're constantly influencing each other, and the fact that you were seeing him, that he had this like great influence on you. You're not seeing him anymore. That's not the point, but that brought you to this is something that you really love. Like, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm absolutely always amazed by how much influence people can have on your life, because honestly, I was such a different person when I went to university, and I think I went through so much personal development, not just because of my own drive and interest in personal development, but just because of the people I was surrounding myself with. What was special about that teacher in the second semester of your new university that made you realize that product design was the thing?
Yeah. I mean, the teacher's name is Kelly. Part of it's probably just her and her energy, and she's really good at what she does. It was obviously her influence. It was also of course like the content. That was the fourth class that I had in that day. And my classes were not like an hour each. They're all 3 hours long.
Holy shit.
So
was it a 12-hour day?
Yeah, so it was a really long day. I had my first class started at 8 a.m. And I probably had an hour break between the first three classes, and then between the third and the fourth it was probably about like 15 minutes. And that last class in the day was that class, that the intro level to product design, it was like intro into interaction design. And so I had already gone through so much throughout the day. I was at school the whole day, and I felt so energized in that class every day.
That's awesome.
And I think you just know, like, so not only was I energized throughout like that, and like I finished the day strong because I loved this class. I would go home and I'd keep working. Wow. And I was just like, I want it, like, I just loved it. And I knew, it's like, this is what I wanted to do.
Would you find that the projects you were doing at university were similar to the project tasks you have at your actual job? Because I find that what you do in university is a lot of the times very, very different, or at least in engineering, it's super different from what you actually do on the job.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'd love to, like, we should do a whole video on that too, but just briefly, to answer your question, yes, they're different. However, at the same time, I think there's a lot of it also has prepared me very well for my job professionally. There's this aspect of like anything is possible. And that's why I love school, because it was just so open-ended. And working now professionally, it's not the same. There's so many constraints. There's so many really business problems that we didn't have to deal with in our projects at school.
We're gonna go more in depth into the topics that we've briefly covered in this video. But for now, my name is Luba.
I'm Alexa.
Stay tuned.
See you next time.
Oh wait, the subscribe button.
Oh!